It's another beautiful edition on the program who is talking with Adesu Alato. Today is a very special one as I have a very distinguished person here with me to discuss an issue that has been of great concern to Nigerians, both at home and in diaspora. And the person to do great justice to this conversation is a very great, distinguished former commissioner for arts, culture, tourism, and diaspora affairs, OSAZE Osengi Ero. Sir, good to have you
Hello,
on my
how are
program.
you? This one, good to see you.
I'm good,
Good to
thank
see
you.
you.
So
Good to
nice
see
to
you.
have you on the program
Thank you
today.
so much. Thank you.
I want to mention that I had to pull him out from the golf club where he was
Yeah,
playing golf.
exactly.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, so there's this issue that has been of great concern. A young man who was murdered, strangled, to death. And to think that this man was physically challenged in Italy. Uh, what's your take on this? How would you describe such a situation where a white man would just go by and strangle, a black man, a Nigerian, over there in Italy?
First of all, my condolences to the wife and the children of the victim,
Yeah.
Ogochukwu. And I was saddened when I heard what happened. And immediately I made a call to my friends, the members of the National Association for
Association.
Nigerians in Italy,
Italy, yeah.
and even the embassy staff. And luckily they said they were already on it,
Yeah.
and they even sent me a letter of the statements of a press statement that
Press
was
that
issued.
was released. Yeah.
And I kind of said, okay, I'm glad that the ambassador has really sit up to do what he needed to do,
Needed to do.
and we're waiting.
Yeah.
And so like I said, it's a painful thing. Nobody wants to lose lose a member of the family,
Yeah.
talk less of maybe a benefactor of the
Yeah. Of
family
the
and all
family.
that. Whoever you lose is painful at a
Yeah.
young age. It just brought back memories of what I went through in Italy and what some Nigerians, or most Nigerians or Africans are going through in Italy.
Yeah.
The injustice all over the world, in Europe and especially in Italy. So, but I'm glad that the Nigerian ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Umbama Umana is working seriously on it, because I want to use this opportunity to commend him as well. After my release, he has really been proactive. I've spoken to him several times. He reaching out to Nigerians in Italy. He has even made effort to visit
Okay.
our Nigerians in prisons
Prisons.
and to make sure that the justice is served for whoever is arrested there. That is commendable, and I want to use this opportunity to commend him and thank him so much, because if his predecessor have done half of what he did,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have stayed longer than necessary
Longer in
than the
Italy.
18 months that I spent in incarceration in Italy. So this is commendable, and I want to thank His Excellency, the current ambassador, for what he did. And of course, the Nigerian National Association for Nigerians living in Italy, they are being proactive now, reaching out to people and all that. But that does not mean that we are not still being victimized. There are a lot of Nigerians who are
Or still
still in prison
okay.
for a crime they did not
Did not
commit.
commit.
Vis-a-vis the Nigerians that were arrested on the 28th of October 2020 while I was still in prison. The ones that took the short trial have been convicted for over some 10 years, 12 years, 9 years, for crimes they did not commit. While the one that took the long trial, which the Italian justice system called ordinario,
Okay.
their trial is still ongoing till they've been adjourned again to September this year, which they've all spent 2 years
2 years
in
there.
prison awaiting trial. But again, the ambassador is aware. 2 weeks ago, one of them, Okay Guema, his wife called me and told me that his husband has been sick for over 3 weeks with stomach pain, and they refused to take him to the hospital, and she was crying. So I now called the ambassador and said, this is the call I got. And the ambassador, acted on it immediately, called his wife, he asked the
Wow.
wife to call him, send people to go and to get involved and all that. So that is commendable, and even attend their trial, in the court. So I'm sure by September or whenever these people end their trial, they're going to be released as well. On the 15th of January 2015, this year,
Yeah.
26 Nigerians were discharged and acquitted, in Italy,
Wow, that's highly
from
commendable.
the appeal court. 31st of March, another 22 of them were discharged and acquitted, in Italy as well. So the case have changed. But this Ogochukwu that died is painful. I've spoken to the wife, and she told me that some Nigerian officials have visited her,
Okay.
courtesy of the embassy, ambassador, and all that. And I just told her that hashtag justice,
Yeah.
which is the NGO that I set up, is available for services for her. And if she's not satisfied with whatever justice I should get, that she should let us know. Yes.
All right, so as a man who's been in the forefront of justice, especially for Nigerians in diaspora, Italy to be precise, because that was where I remember vividly you were incarcerated for a crime you did not commit.
That's correct.
How will you describe this kind of situation? I mean, looking at the fact that a black man would just, lose his life for no reason, for no just cause. What do you think could be done to salvage such a situation?
I mean, first of all, I think, like I said before, is that he's from Nigeria. I'm glad that the Nigerian ambassador has gotten involved, which is responsibility of the embassy. The Nigerian Association of National Association of Nigerians in Italy have gotten involved as well, which is their responsibility as well. And I think my advice is that we just watch things now,
Okay.
and make sure justice is served.
Served,
That
yes.
the family of the deceased,
Deceased,
are not neglected or abandoned or
Yeah.
just treated as nobody,
Nobody.
as
Take
it's been done before.
responsibility for it.
Exactly. The Italian justice system,
Yes.
or the Italian government,
Yes.
need to take responsibility for what happened.
Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, I think it's racial discrimination.
Absolutely.
If that guy was not a black man,
Yeah.
I don't think
Would
the
that
Italian
have
guy.
happened?
Exactly. So that's racial.
Yeah.
So let justice take its course. The man will be tried
Yeah,
on
he
whether
should be tried.
manslaughter
Has he been
or murder.
arrested?
Yeah, I heard he's been arrested. Yeah, and he should be tried and let him face the wrath of the law,
Okay.
because that is racial discrimination.
Yeah.
Because if the guy was not a black man, I don't think he would pounce on him like that and kill him. And even the people that were watching,
People
the
were
people were
watching.
recording, people were videoing and all that. They could have separated him.
could have.
They could have held that man.
Could have.
Because it was very obvious that the Italian man was stronger than him.
Yes.
I heard he was a former wrestler or something.
Oh, really?
So they could have helped that man and save his soul and save family. Adesua, my pain in all this whole thing that
Yeah.
when people got victimized, it is not the individuals that really suffer the consequences of either incarceration or victimization. It is the families of those people. I keep saying it. My case, for example, when I was there, my wife, my children,
Yeah, they felt the impact.
my aged parents, my very close families,
Yes.
my friends, and people that I've worked with. These are the, long chain effects on
Yes.
those people. So when you put people in prison, you're not just suffering that person, you're suffering the families, the friends, and whoever is connected to that person. Because there are some, while I was there are people that were on my payroll, for example. My domestic staffs,
Yeah.
my personal assistants, the people that were working with me in the offices, they all lost their jobs during their processes, and they have that effect on them.
Yeah, sure.
So like Ogochukwu that was killed in Italy now, for example, you saw the widow, the wife crying.
Yes.
I've spoken to her more than 4 times, trying to console her and tell her that the Nigerian people are interested in her matter, because these are things that you need to do.
Yeah.
We need to support ourselves.
Definitely.
Like I keep saying, it's good that the ambassador has sit up now.
Yeah.
Because when somebody is arrested in diaspora, in abroad or wherever, it's the responsibility of the embassy, vis-a-vis the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to make sure that that person gets proper legal representative. Whether the person commits the crime or not is irrelevant.
Okay.
Make sure that person gets a lawyer, is well represented in the court of law, and if it's proven that that person committed that crime, then of course let him face the wrath of the law.
Exactly.
Because if you cannot do the crime, don't do the time. So if the person commit the crime, let him do it. But in these cases of Italy, these justices are happening in Italy and in other places, especially what I've experienced personally in Italy. These boys did not commit the crime that they've been convicted for. If not God that stood by me
Yeah.
and provided the resources for me to take my lawyer, get proper good lawyers to defend me. Only God knows my enemy would have been languishing in prison for the next 15 years for a crime that was not even committed
That
at all.
cost a lot. Even your political careers at that time was affected.
Exactly. A lot of things affected.
Was affected too. I remember it was just after the National Festival for Arts and Culture. We just finished that festival and we're expecting that when Oga comes back from his trip, we'll just reminisce on the whole process. All right, so talking about Alika, Mr. Alika, the man who lost his life, Alika Ogochukwu, who lost his life recently in Italy due to murder. We'll just call it, practically it was a murder case by a white man who strangled him. And then people were watching the white man strangle that black man to death. We'll be talking to his wife now to know her pain. She will express herself to us, tell us about her pain and how she has been helped by people who has picked interest in the matter.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, madam, are you here?
Hello.
I'm Mrs. Charity.
Hello. Hello, sister.
Oh, hold on. There's a friend here, Mr.
Yeah.
Desua, who's interested in your matter. I'll go where going.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Hello, Mrs. Alika. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
How are you doing today? First of all, I want to express my sincere condolence to you on the demise of your beloved husband.
Thank you.
All right, we want to know how you're faring at the moment. Can you tell us how you're faring at the moment? How's your family faring with this sad incident that has occurred?
It's bad, but somehow one is happy.
Okay,
Very
so
sad.
it's a very sad one. Okay, so who has come visiting you since the incident happened?
You said?
I mean, have you had any visit from Nigerians? The Nigerian, we
Yes.
hear that the Nigerian embassy in Italy have come visiting your family.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware if the man has been arrested or not? I mean, the culprit, the man who murdered your husband.
And when they have arrested him, according to the lawyer, I don't know outside of the
All right, Mrs. Alika, are you calling for justice? I want you to use this medium to solicit and call
justice, yes.
for full justice on this matter.
Hello? Hello, Abi.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Hello, we can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
It's working now. There's
Yes,
no
it's
line.
working. We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you, Ma. Can you speak up? We can hear you. Can you hear me? I want you to solicit for justice, a call for justice. Can you just talk about it?
That is what I want. I need justice. That is why I want the Nigeria embassy, Nigeria to help me and the Italians. I want justice for my husband. That is what I'm crying for. Justice. But someone cannot just kill somebody like that and go scot-free. No. I need justice. So that the guy will pay for his time. That is what I want.
All right, Mrs. Alika, thank you so much. It's a really sad one to think that your husband was also physically challenged.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. All right, thanks for having you on my program.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, that was the widow we just spoke to, Mrs. Alika, whose husband was gruesomely murdered in Italy uh, some weeks back. All right, so coming back home to the former commissioner for arts and culture, who has been at the forefront of justice with the hashtag justice,
Finally.
NGO. Uh, Recently in June, precisely June 1st, if I'm not mistaken, you aided and sponsored the release of some prisoners from prison here, Oko prison in Benin City. So, do you want to talk about it? What led to that? What led to that drive, that move?
Well, this is I think what we did 1st of June was a 1 year anniversary
Okay.
of my freedom, of my release in Italy.
Okay.
Where they finally got the judgment on the 29th of May, 2021. And I just thought about it, celebrating 1 year anniversary. Most time we go to charity homes,
Yeah.
orphanage homes and all that. And I decided to say, okay, since God vindicated me
Yeah.
on the 29th of May, let me give back to the society and all that.
Society.
And I spoke to a few friends who were very supportive. We were able to raise over 2 million naira,
Okay.
to pay for some prisoners that were in Oko prison and the White House who could not afford to pay the fine for their freedom. Because when you commit petty crime, most time the judges give you option of fine
Option of fine, yeah.
or go to prison. So we looked at it, went to the correctional center, I met the head of services for correctional center and the Ministry of Justice, collaboration of Ministry of Justice, and they were able to raise about 8 names to the tune of 1.8 million naira, which was paid. And I'm glad that on that day they released them and brought them here. I want to thank God, for that decision. I want to thank God for the support. I want to thank all my friends, who decided to support me on that day, to actualize that that vision or whatever we had. Because for me, and so you were here, actually on
Yeah,
that day.
I was
Yes,
here.
exactly.
I was here.
And
I
you
saw
can-
the excitement
exactly.
on their faces. They were so, happy
You know,
and all that.
I've known what it is to be incarcerated for a crime that
Yeah.
you did not commit. It's painful at this hour.
Very, very painful.
Because if you commit a crime, you do the time, it's different from when you did not commit any
did
crime
not commit.
and you're being incarcerated or even lied against and kept in prison for something that you did not do. So I'm glad and I thank God that we're able to do that on the 1st of June. And we're able to release those 8 prisoners. And you could hear their testimonies.
Yeah.
The one from Calabar, the one from Warri, and the other 6 were from Edo State. And I told them that they shouldn't go back to crime. And he was petty crime anyway. One of them said he worked for his boss for about 6 months. He didn't pay him. He now seized the generator, sold him to take care of everything.
Yeah.
The other one said they only fight. He fought. And he was incarcerated for 2 years and all that. Plus other ones who said, various, you heard their stories.
Yeah,
But if the judge felt they were dangerous to the society, I'm sure he won't give them option of fine. They would have been long-term, serving long-term in prison. But I'm glad. But this was the most important thing to me that I'm happy about, that I'm not worried or concerned that I actually spent 18 months in prison. I had maximum security in prison for a crime that I did not commit. That the result that we're getting from Italy now, where about 56 some people whom I don't know have been discharged and acquitted based on the case or reference to my case.
your
Those are the ones that we are just aware of. And I know there are a lot,
There are lots like
a
that.
number
We may
of
not
people
know.
that, yes, exactly. Because my case became an international
Yes.
case. People were interested, especially the drive that we took, to make our protest in Lagos,
Yeah.
to tell the world that we did not commit this crime and the injustice that is going on in Italy with the very corrupt prosecutors in Italy. Then when we got the resistance that we got in Lagos, we took it to London and submitted the petition, read the petition, submitted the petition in London. And thank God for what we're getting. But I'm still very disappointed at this hour
Okay.
that I would have expected the Nigerian government, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who have a minister,
Yeah.
Geoffrey Oyema, to get involved in this fight.
Yes.
I'm not waiting for them to thank me or do whatever they do, but they need to get involved.
You did little or nothing.
I made a statement earlier that if anybody is arrested abroad, whether the person commits that crime or not, let that person have fair judgment, let that person have support from the country that the person comes from, so that he will have fair trial. It's important. While I was arrested, the luck I had at this is because of my dual citizenship
Yeah.
as a Nigerian and as a Briton.
Okay.
I had the British embassy involved in my case. The ambassador visited me 3 times in prison. The UK ambassador to Nigeria, to Britain, and listened to my case, stood by me through the trial, sent a letter to the judge to tell the judge, look, this man has lived in London for over 24 years with no criminal record. A paper from the Metropolitan Police was submitted as well to show that I didn't have any criminal record in London, in the United Kingdom, and said, look, I don't believe that this guy committed this crime.
This crime is being tried for.
So those are the things that you expect your country to stand by you. Like these Nigerians that are being victimized
Yes.
and put into this process.
What are government going to
Let
do?
the Ministry of Foreign Affairs come for
What are
them.
they doing about
Because
it?
if they make noise about all this, they will stop, just like the way they stopped now.
Exactly.
While I was there, even in a case file, they said from years ago the Chinese government, the prosecutors arrested a lot of Chinese people and called them Chinese mafia. The Chinese government came out and said, no, we don't have Chinese
we don't have
mafia.
mafias.
If anybody commits crime in Italy, arrest them, prosecute them, charge them
Yeah.
with evidence. The same thing happened to the Albanese. They called them the Albanese mafia. The Albanese government came out. They have papers.
Filtered it.
Exactly. But in our own case,
Nigeria?
they've been arresting, prosecuting,
Yeah.
charging Nigerians for how many years?
you won't get
The
our
ambassador,
government
the Foreign Affairs Ministry doesn't even care.
They don't care. And that's the sole responsibility of that ministry.
I keep saying it. If one of these boys is the child or the children of this Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister, Geoffrey Yema, will he sit down in his office, on his country, on his house, not to react to what is going on in Italy?
I don't think so.
He wouldn't.
Do that.
So I want to commend the new Nigerian ambassador
Okay.
because he's been very proactive. He's been involved. Not Yina Yusuf, who was there when I was incarcerated, who did not do anything, only for him to tell me that he tried to secure arrest for me and started calling me all names that were not worth it. I want to commend Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Umana Mbafa Umana from Nigeria, the new ambassador to Italy. He's commendable and he's doing a lot of work. We're working with the Nigerian National Association for Nigerians in Italy. So this is, when somebody does something that is good, you commend him. If somebody that doesn't know his
really
job,
commendable.
it's for, you don't need to
It
praise
was
him.
very proactive.
The responsibility of everybody
Yeah.
is for you. Once you're occupying an official position, you should meet up with the responsibility of that office.
Exactly.
Election is coming up in 2023 now, for example. Everybody is running a skater,
Yeah.
making up false promises and all that. But as Nigerians, I want to tell you that we should now vote for people who cannot be held responsible, for the offices they are occupying, whether elective or appointed. It's important. And that's the only way the country can move forward.
Very well said.
Thank
Very
you.
well said. The former commissioner has just pinpointed the fact that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs did little or nothing while he was incarcerated. And even in this case, we're talking about the case of the late Mr. Alika, who was murdered in Italy right now. We expect more to be done from our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which represents the Nigerian government. Thanks a lot, sir, for having you on my show. It's
Thank
a
you very
rare
much.
privilege and honor and opportunity to have you here today. It was
Thank
a
you.
nice time talking to you.
Thank you very much. Even though you
Thanks so
forced me out of the golf course to
Wow,
come here.
yeah, I had to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
Nice
sir.
meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.